Oh, one thing, I am a teacher. We have to edit out the swearing.
Oh, you do? Oh, for like career reasons?
Yeah.
Okay. G'day, welcome to Bradley's Bakehouse. I'm here with Fjordie, who's brought in their family cookie recipe for us to make today.
I actually don't know where this recipe has come from.
But chances are it's probably like a 80s Women's Weekly.
It's possibly come from 80s Women's Weekly. It's possibly come from a family friend, passed to my mom, passed to me. All I know is that when I was a kid, I made these cookies all the time and they never failed.
And you know they're good because it's written in, it's like written with pen.
Oh yeah.
In a book that's held together with like tape and good intentions.
Yeah, and that pink where it's really faded and it says chopped chick biscuit, that was my edition. For ingredients, we've got brown sugar and caster sugar, and that's the extent of my knowledge.
So we've both got regular flour and self-raising flour. Again, not my recipe, just want to clarify that. We've also got some buck wild measurements here. We're going to combine grams, we're going to combine cups. We've got half a packet of chocolate chips here, which that's not a recognized unit of measurement. Fjordie? We've got some vanilla, we've got some butter, we've got a single egg, and we've got some milk. So I guess tune in to see what we're going to do with that.
Yeah, look, we didn't want any metric to feel left out.
There's no ounces. Oh, we've not done ounces.
Damn it, which one of these can we eeasily make into ounces?
All the quantities are going to be down in the description below. One of the flours is going to be in ounces.
Yeah, you can figure it out.
You can figure it out.
Yeah.
You're
a smart person.
Yeah, I really respect that about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna read off the official time here, which says beat butter essence. There's no comma there. Beat butter essence plus sugars till light and fluffy. Beat in egg. Stir in flour, choc bits, and milk.
Yeah, I don't know what you're not getting.
Teaspoon. No, you need this much.
Oh my god.
I get to do that because I have done this many times.
Okay.
That's my thing.
All right.
You get 1 teaspoon for you at home. I get to do that because I'm special.
Now you let it go. No, we did it wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
I know you were. I know you were. Did you see how I didn't flinch at all?
I know.
Did you see how nothing happened? I am solid as a rock.
I was expecting a reaction at least. Let it go for a bit. You gotta let go until you can't really see the sugar granules anymore.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Good on you, Ken. Good job.
Egg now.
See, this is a really simple method, but I used to like study this.
What do you mean study it? There's like 3 sentences.
Yeah, I know, but I used to like...
What do you mean study? What is there to study?
I don't trust myself, so I'm like, beat in the butter and the essence and the sugar. The butter. Measure twice. Stir once.
Yeah, measure twice with all 3 different units of measurement that we've got in this.
That's why you have to measure twice.
That's why you have to measure twice. I imagine this was from a time when like packets of chocolate chips were significantly more generous than they are now.
Possibly.
So like, it's 100 grams, by the way. Let's just cut the middleman. It was a 200 gram packet of chocolate chips and it's 100 grams because that's half.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how that goes.
Not that crazy. This recipe taught me to be attentive to detail and to never trust myself because it could have been a cup and it could have been a gram. So I really have to go back and measure twice. And that's the life lesson, kids.
Add the flours.
Plural.
Plural. 2 kinds of flour.
2 kinds. Yeah, I feel like I should at least do something.
Okay,
Let me
there
do
you
this.
go. Off you go.
Here's hoping I don't butcher it. I saw that's kind of what you did, so.
The choc bits.
Yep.
And the milk.
It's good for your bones.
It's good for you.
Sorry. I would say that's pretty solid.
So that's pretty solid?
Yeah.
How's the chip?
So.
How's the chip ratio?
I think that's good. I mean, I'm a person that has fewer chips to dough because I just like dough. But this is a pretty solid ratio.
It tasted like milk.
For normal people. Okay, maybe we should mix it a little bit longer. It tastes like milk.
We've got our lovely dough made here, and Fjordie's going to take us through the shaping of these cookies.
This is where the magic happens. And if you weren't paying attention before, you need to pay attention now because this is the most important part. Maybe. Okay, so the way that we make these cookies is you want to get 2 teaspoons. Should have showed you my teaspoons. 2 teaspoons. And you fill the space of about 1 teaspoon. And then the only reason you need the 2nd teaspoon is just to push it off. It's just a little lever. And I can feel you like cringing at my technique here.
No, it's fine.
But this is how we do it.
It's
and
fine.
then you just leave it. It's just a little messy ball, just like me. And then you cook it like that and it spreads out. So leave some space because this little guy is gonna be a big guy in 10 minutes time of the oven, so leave some space.
I think that's like what you said about like me cringing at the technique. I think that's really interesting because I think people come on to like this show or whatever and they're like, oh, you're like a professional, so I'm probably doing it wrong. No, like when people say stuff like, oh, that's not how they do it in a real bakery. You're not in a real bakery, you're in a home kitchen. It's like a different scenario, and there's like definitely a place for like this kind of rustic homemade thing. It is like a certain charm to it. There's like a certain like homeliness to it that I think is just as important and just as impressive as going to like a really fancy bakery where everyone's like a trained professional. This is just as valid, and you should feel just as proud of doing this sort of stuff in like a home environment. Can I have a try?
Yes, you have 2 spoons for yourself.
So like that sort of much?
Yeah.
That's kind of...
I mean, you don't have to be precious about it. You want to make them somewhat consistent so that they don't cook at different rates, and you get a consistent cookie, but also it's not that deep.
Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink
Don't overthink it. That's
Yeah.
the motto of this channel.
Yeah.
This recipe is really interesting because this kind of flies in the face of like everything that I know about making cookies and like how I was taught to make cookies.
Really?
So like we've combined all of the ingredients pretty much as it is. I would be like one for check out my cookie recipe where I make the really fancy cookies that get me invited to things. They're quite a bit more involved than this. Like this is very much shove everything into the thing, mix it and make it homogeneous, and then you've got cookie dough. Whereas in my recipe, like we brown the butter and we like chill them overnight to sort of like develop more flavor. And so it's just really interesting because this is just gonna be very different.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said about that. Like you can take a different pathway and still get to the same place. I think these cookies maybe might have informed how I live my life more than I realize, and they might have impacted me more than I have given them credit for. Makes me think it's a very much Australian mindset of she'll be right.
Yeah, and she will.
And she will.
Into the oven. I believe we got bake in 170 for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
So 10 minutes, we're going in now.
Turn that off.
Beautiful. 10 minutes.
Yay.
Fjordie recently returned to the music industry. Fjordie was a long time sort of Brisbane musician, and you took a bit of an exodus away, but you're back with Paper Planes.
I am back with Paper Planes.
Swallowing the cries makes my throat hurt. Maybe I lied when I said it doesn't matter. I can make some paper.
Tell us a little bit about the song.
I wrote Paper Planes at the end of last year, and it was a really tough time. My partner and I had both just lost people in our lives at the exact same time in the space of about a week.
That's rough.
Yeah. And as a result, like neither of us could be there for each other. So a lot of the lyrics speak to that experience where I'm speaking for myself, but also I was speaking a little bit from him as well, where it was, we needed each other in that moment, but neither of us could possibly be there for each other because we both had the exact same thing happening to us at the exact same time.
Yeah, like an empty cup can't fill another.
Yeah, very much. And so the way that Paper Planes came about is that I was just super sad, to put it lightly. And I work as a teacher. Aiden knows this, but you might not. I'm a teacher by day. And it was the end of the school term, in term 4, so it's kind of the time when things wrap up and things get a bit silly and things get a bit fun. And I was in my classroom and a student made a paper plane and threw it across the room. And I went, what a great idea. And so
then you made a bunch of paper planes and you just started pegging them at kids. Yeah.
No, I actually really loved this class. 9N, if you're watching, you guys are amazing. And you were like my return to teaching full time, and you couldn't have made that transition smoother. You don't know that.
How interesting that like your return to teaching also coincided with your like return to music.
Yeah.
How interesting that coincided.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I've actually never drawn that connection before.
Right, yeah.
One of my students throws a paper plane across the room. I looked at that and I said, that's a really good idea. Next week, we're going to have a paper plane throwing competition. So Wednesday rolls around and we have our English class, and I asked the kids, I gave everyone a piece of paper and I said, on this piece of paper, I want you to write a 6-word poem. It's something that I'd learned about pretty recently prior to that. I said, do you know much about 6-word poems?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so it's like you sum up your life in 6 words. And so my example, I wrote, I teach, therefore I am, yay, because I was on the spot and I didn't know what to do for the 6th word. But some of them came up with some really beautiful 6-word poems. And so I had them write
Does this end with you plagiarizing from like
No,
no.
No, I couldn't remember. I don't remember what they wrote. And so some of them wrote some really beautiful 6-word poems, and then I said, then you're gonna fold it up and you're gonna make a paper plane out of it. And we took it down to the Oval and we had a paper plane throwing competition, and these kids were able to just let those, whatever thoughts they had, some of them were really happy, some of them were really sad, and whatever thought they had, they just let it fly. I walked into that lesson feeling so overwhelmed and feeling like I couldn't wait for the year to end, and I was just down in this pit of despair. And I walked out of that lesson happy and fulfilled and calm, and I felt like everything was going to be okay. That night I went home and I wrote paper planes in the space of about 15 minutes. With all of those feelings bubbling up, I was able to just word vomit it out.
Just let it all go.
I just let it all out. I was able to let it all out, and that's the story of paper planes. So it starts really sad and it ends really happy, and just it was that day, and it was all throughout the year. Whenever I would walk into that classroom, I didn't matter how I was feeling, those kids were so joyful and so full of life, that it made me full of life, and it always made me happy being in that classroom. So that's the story of paper planes. And the story of 9N, the legends.
The legends.
Yeah. This one got my mom as well. I showed her the song 2 nights ago, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I love this song. All your other songs were so sad, but this one's so happy." And I said, "Mom, did you read the lyrics?" So she went back and reread the lyrics, and she went, oh, this is really sad. And she asked me, "Why don't you make happy songs?" And I responded with, "Sad songs is all I know how to write."
That's a deeply depressing thing to say.
That is
but obviously
really
that
sad.
exists within context, you know.
Within context. I am a very happy, I could ask anyone, I'm a very lovely, joyful person. But I was talking about this recently with my partner, and he summed it up really well. He said that happiness is such a fleeting emotion, and it's a response to an external stimuli, whereas sadness sticks around for a bit longer, and it sometimes is a response to an external stimuli, but it also often is a response to an internal stimuli, and it's a really rich emotion, arguably a bit richer of an emotion than happiness is. And you can, I don't want to be a herald of sadness, you can tell by the fact
Herald
that
of Sadness is a sick metal band name. Sick band name.
Somebody do it, please. No, but you can tell that I don't want to be that, and that's why my songs sound really happy, because I want them to be happy. I want to make people feel happy, but you also want to acknowledge that happiness is coming from somewhere. And human emotion works like an equilibrium, right? Where if you are really happy, at some point that has to balance back out.
So it's been 10 minutes, and here are our cookies. They smell really nice. They look very like home style, rustic, like tuck shop biscuits, I think is the word that I want to use.
Yeah, okay. I'll
Kind
go
of
for
like
that.
tuck shoppy.
I loved the tuck shop.
I
still love the tuck shop.
The Americans who watch the show are not going to know what that
Not
means.
gonna know.
And statistically, you are American.
I made these cookies once for my mum. She was like at work, and I must have been on school holidays, and I made the cookies, and I really carefully put them on like a cake tray, a cake stand, and then I like wrapped a ribbon around it. And maybe I can test your editing skills and put it right here.
Okay.
This is the picture.
We can do that.
And I really thought, I was really into Pinterest. And I was like, this is so
That
Pinterest.
tracks so hard.
The beauty of these cookies is that they will probably look different every single time, but they will still taste good.
Yeah, nice. This is like your return to music after like a few years away. Because
Yeah.
we were operating in the same sort of
Same
space
time.
for a while, and then
Yeah.
I dipped,
Yeah.
and then you dipped, but then you came back.
Yeah.
So you had a record out called Viridian,
Uh-huh.
and that record is now gone.
You might be able to find it if you search the web far enough, but I'm pretty sure I took care of that one. I released Viridian in 2022.
Yep, because
And
I
then-
was at the launch gig. The
Yeah.
one at Archive.
Yeah,
Yep.
Archive.
Yep.
And then I dipped 2023, like mid 2023.
Yep.
So I was literally there for like a year and a half. And then I dipped for, 2025? 2 years it's been. Viridian was my first attempt at releasing, I guess, as Fjordie. I mean, I'd released a couple of tracks just as like Sarah, but you can't find them either. because I was.
And I've looked.
And it was like 19-year-old me just on my garage band.
Yes.
Figuring out how production works and how to release and how to market, or just figuring it out in general. And so Viridian was like the culmination of that. And so I spent, I don't know, a couple months in my bedroom just arranging a bunch of songs and producing a bunch of songs. Sent it off to a friend, he mixed and mastered, and then we just chucked it out. And
this was when this was when TikTok promo was like
Oh,
the way to go.
yeah.
This was like, if you weren't, everyone was talking about like the algorithm and how like that worked, and if you weren't posting like at least once a day, you'd get like shadow banned and all of this stuff that
man.
doesn't actually, that
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't
It's not
occur.
real.
It's not that interesting.
It's misinformation.
It's not real.
I'm someone who really values quality over quantity. But at that time, you slid down this really slippery slope of thinking like, I have to do this many and I have to schedule it and I have to batch create and I have to do all of this by this timeline. An arbitrary timeline.
And then like before you know it, you haven't seen anyone that you like in like 3 days.
You haven't made anything good because you haven't actually taken the time to try to make it good.
Yeah, it's like all first drafts.
It's all first
It's like,
drafts.
it was a very like first draft, just make it, get it out, and then just like move on to the next thing.
It became content, and I don't like viewing music as content. I don't think art, or art in general, I don't think art is something that should be consumed. That's why I don't want to call people consumers. I like to call people listeners or viewers or whatever word applies.
I think the thing that I remember mostly from like that period was like just the ever impending sense of pressure.
Yeah.
It was just like you go to work at your day job, because none of us were making money off this at this point. Like this was not a profitable enterprise. You'd go to work at your day job and you'd just be thinking about like how much stuff can you make when you get home. Like how do I get like a head start on getting the thing done? And you stop thinking about like, oh, I haven't seen my friends, I haven't spent time with like my partner, I haven't done any of this stuff that I like doing. I've just let this whole thing just consume me. Sorry for taking over your segment, but that's why I dipped from music.
I think we had very similar reasons for dipping. It was full on, and I can't say that I didn't learn a lot during that time. It's a double-edged sword, right? You can say that it was really bad. It was really bad. The deadlines that we put on ourselves to try and make the algorithm work for us when it never was a real thing anyway. We're all running off misinformation. But at the same time, having those short deadlines, for me at least, made me make things and then move on and make the next thing and move on. And yeah, I was probably making garbage, but at the same time, I learned how to really quickly finish a project.
Yeah, and I think that's...
You got to look for a silver lining.
Well, it's like one of the ever-present things I think musicians are really bad at in particular is like not finishing the thing that you start.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you'll write a chord progression, but then that's where that idea ends. And you just get distracted by like the next thing that you do instead of like properly fleshing the idea out and stuff, where it's finishing your ideas, regardless if you think they're bad. Sometimes it's harder to finish a bad idea than it is to finish a good one, right? Sometimes it's like harder to like phone it in and still be like, yeah. And actually like get to the end, write the whole thing down. But there's like value in that.
There is value.
Yeah, there's value in seeing it through to the end, even if you don't like it.
That's it. And no matter what, even if you don't like it, even if it's not good, I mean, I say good with quotation marks because good is subjective, art is subjective. So what I view as good or not good, you could view as great.
Yeah.
Or terrible.
Or terrible.
And it's so subjective, but you'll learn something in that process. Out of every single process, you'll learn something.
These are the Fjordie family recipe cookies.
Oh, I love the alliteration there.
Fjordie family recipe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna eat one now. It's a good cookie.
Yeah? Is it good? Is it heaven in your mouth?
Yeah, the chocolate's still like nice and gooey.
Yeah.
Like a little bit crisp. They're crispier on the bottom than I thought they would be.
Yeah.
That's like a really nice textural contrast.
Yeah, it's like crispy on the bottom, soft and gooey in the middle, and a bit crispy on the top as well.
Like super simple, super easy. You could have these out of the oven in about half an hour, like cookie recipe. This is good. This is a good, quick, like throw it all together with stuff you've got in the pantry. Yeah.
I'm so glad you like it.
I still hate the half pack of chocolate chips I still hate that.
Hey.
100 grams. Use 100 grams of chocolate chips. Maybe 120 if you feel like being indulgent. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Bradley's Bakehouse. Check out Paper Planes by Fjordie, now available just about everywhere.
Everywhere.
Just about everywhere?
Under your grandmother's couch. It's there.
Probably not.
No.
Unless that has Wi-Fi now and it has a QR code, you need to make an account.
I do have shirts. I'm wearing this shirt. And it is now yours, available to buy. If you go to my website, fjordie.com.au, you can buy this shirt and it can be yours. Or if you don't want to pay shipping, don't tell Ozpost. Come to a show and then you can have it without the shipping. I love you, Ozpost.
Come to a show.